We're back in the mail basket, or whatever you want to call it, the anonymous questions pile, as we could call it, because these were all anonymous questions. And if you're interested in filling out anonymous questions, I plan to be putting these out on Instagram on random polls and as well as non-random polls. Oh, anonymous, not random. They're also kind of random. It can be anything. Ask questions about anything. I like it when it's about like theology and things like that, but we have two questions here that really aren't about theology or anything like that. And we're going to do twofer because, frankly, when it's not a more interesting, depth, controversial question, I have less to say. You'll learn that as you watch the show. So we have two questions that I think are kind of fun. So thank you for submitting questions like this because they make the show a little more lighthearted. The first question, do you speak another language? Well, for one, a lot of people will joke, like, I barely speak English. Frankly, the English language is very confusing. But obviously I speak English. As for, like, Spanish, I took Spanish in high school for 2 years. I do apologize to my Spanish teacher, but I don't remember much of it. I really can't say that I speak Spanish at all. If I were to be, like, plopped down in Spain, I may be able to live or make do for a small amount of time, but not really. Here's the thing about languages. You have to want it. So right now, for example, I'm currently studying theology in college, and that goes into the other language that I'm learning right now, and that would be ancient Greek. If you don't know, the New Testament was written in mostly ancient Greek, and that's why I'm learning ancient Greek as a theology student. And it is conversational. So in a sense, this is absolutely a new language that I'm learning. But something I've noticed that's different between my high school self, granted, this was my high school self learning Spanish, versus my college self learning Greek. I also learned Hebrew down the line, but learning Greek is that it's about mindset. If you want to learn a new language, you can learn a new language. The reality was, unfortunately, when I was in high school, I didn't want to learn Spanish. So I didn't have the mindset there, and I didn't do a good job learning Spanish. If I had wanted to, I think I could have. I'm wanting to be here. I want to learn Greek because it's part of what I need to do to be a theology student. And it's kind of fun in some ways. So I speak English. I'm learning to speak Greek. I could maybe get by on Spanish, but I'll also learn Hebrew down the line as well. What scares me about Hebrew is that it reads backwards, so that ought to be fun. But no, I like to think that could bring some cool content to the show as well, on learning how to speak Greek, because I do have right up here, actually, the Greek Reader's New Testament. And the Greek Reader's New Testament, it literally is, it's the Greek New Testament. So that's kind of cool to be able to read the New Testament in Greek. And that's one of the benefits of learning Hebrew and Greek. So if you're not a theology student, it's still worth studying into. I mean, sure, it's a lot of work to really learn it. But so yeah, I'm learning Greek, but really I only speak one language. I'm not going to be generous with myself and say I speak more than one at the moment. And like I mentioned, I am a college student, and somebody asked, what's your favorite thing about college so far? Now, I've only been in college less than a year. I'm a new college student. And favorite thing about it probably would be the socialization. There is an aspect to college that is more than just classes. You pay a lot of money for more than just classes. I do think that's fair. Now, not everybody should go to college. I don't think everybody needs to go to college. It really depends on what career path you're in. Going into ministry, going into theology, absolutely, I need to go to college. But there's a lot of people who don't need to go to college. So I just wanted to put that out there. But there's a lot of really fun things about college. I didn't live in a dorm in high school. That's not the majority of people, although I did go to a boarding academy where many of my classmates and peers did board in high school. So this is my first time living in like a dorm environment, and it's there's a lot of fun to it, actually. I didn't know if I'd like it, but I do quite enjoy it because you're always around people. So if you're an extrovert, great. You're always socializing. If you're an introvert, also great. You can just lock yourself in the room. You're fine. So the socialization, I think, is probably the most fun part of college. But there's certainly benefits to the courses. Obviously, you're paying a lot of money to learn knowledge and to get a diploma. And like I said, even though I thought I wouldn't, there are definitely parts of Greek that I'm enjoying as a class. So there's a lot of fun things about college. There better be for how much you're paying for it, right? But it's not for everybody. That's for sure. Favorite thing about college would be the socialization. Languages I speak would be English, and then working on Greek. I would hope that I can learn ancient Greek relatively fluently. But yeah, that's really actually about it. That's kind of a shorter Q&A. Like I said, I have less to say on less uh, deep intellectual issues. So hopefully you enjoyed this episode of What is Truth. You can check this podcast out. It's a show podcast on YouTube, Spotify, Apple. We also have social media on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Maybe we'll go on TikTok. I don't know, not as of right now. But that's about it. Thanks for watching. God bless.